Yo, we are live on stream on YouTube to what I'm excited to announce. Sorry for that intro, gotta put in the charger here. But yes, this is our first podcast that we are having for this channel. And I'm excited to get this thing started. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and something I've been brainstorming in my mind, and I'm just excited to get this thing started and to just try it out. Yo, 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 what up, Raj? Thank you for coming by. Unfortunately, I won't interact with the chat as much because I do want to go on and kind of talk about um, just kind of the reason why I'm doing this and kind of give a background of, I guess, my FIFA career or I don't know, my gaming streaming career and how I came to this point. So it's glad to see everyone here on the chat because we are doing this live. So just tune in, man. Just listen up. Yeah, and I'll just give my tale. I don't think you guys really know a little bit my story, so maybe I could explain why I'm kind of doing this and why I'm doing this podcast. Um, so one of the reasons why I'm so interested in doing this is because I really enjoy having conversations with people and just talking about like all sorts of stuff. I think maybe with this podcast we'll focus more on having like fellow FIFA gamers or streamers or maybe football slash soccer players on the podcast and just talk with them, listen to their stories, and I just really enjoy having good conversations with people. And you could just tell by my streams, a lot of you guys that tune in the streams already know I just like having conversations with people and getting to know people. And streaming has been a very unique way of doing that. Um, but also having like a one-on-one conversation with people, getting to know them, that's something I really look forward to. And I want to start doing that with the podcast. And I know I've really connected with a lot of streamers out there, and I want to have conversation with them, kind of know their background and their story, and maybe as their fans too, having this podcast, having this kind of platform, they can be able to get to know their streamers as well, as much as I do, being a fan of their content as well. So and also just I really like listening to people's stories and where they are now and how they got to this point in their lives. And yeah, I'm a sucker for stories, so that's something I really wanted to uh, I want to really get out of this podcast. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm looking forward to get to know people, connect with people, also promote their channels or whatever content that they're pushing out there, as well as my own content with this podcast. So that's something I'm really excited about doing, and it's been on my mind for a while. So getting this thing started here uh, is exciting. I'm really eager about pushing forward with this. And I know we already have. I've been asking like a couple people if they want to come on my podcast, even though I haven't really started it yet. And people already want to do this thing. We already have Jordan in the chat here. That might be our first guest, so I'm excited to just talk with Jordan. I know we've talked before on the PS party and stuff, and interacted on the stream and chats. But to actually have like a video call or where we could have a conversation, I think that is something that I would look forward to. So, um, yeah, I think that's kind of the game plan with the podcast, and hopefully this thing really does grow, and we could get some amazing people on this podcast that we could talk to and get to know. But first off, I just want to say I appreciate you guys that are here on the stream. I know we got like a couple viewers here. I'm excited. I'm glad you guys are here. You guys show a lot of support for me, and maybe I don't say this enough, but I really do appreciate you guys coming through. I'm really thankful for you guys being part of the streams, and it's been a lot of fun just doing all this. Um, yeah, in terms of getting the guests here, like Jordan here, we will set up a time. Let's set up a time when we're both available. I'm sure we'll discuss that uh, off the stream. So the FIFA streams will continue. Obviously, it's just today. We want to launch the podcast. We want to get started off with that. Um, I know we've been doing the league games on the Twitch stream, so maybe in this stream we won't really focus on getting the games in because I'm not really focused on that. So I will be back on stream tomorrow playing weekend league, so you don't have to worry about getting the games in today. The FIFA streams will still be there. This is just additional content. So we'll do the normal streams on Twitch that we usually do and post up highlights. And speaking of highlights, I actually got a video that I gotta edit for the player picks I did. So I gotta post that up there. But lately I've been very busy with a lot of real estate work that I've been um, just focusing on more. So I've been going into the office trying to get that work in. So I'm trying to figure that out, the scheduling with all that work there, and obviously creating content with the podcast and the streaming as well. So trying to juggle that and trying to have a balance with that is something I'm still figuring out. And you guys already know because I've already expressed that to you guys. But don't worry about the games. The streams on FIFA will still be there. We'll still be streaming on FIFA on Twitch as usual, and this is just additional content that we want to do uh, because it's just something I really want to do, and I think maybe we could build a little following doing this. So I'm looking forward to it. Um, so one thing I also wanted to share too was kind of my background before I got into streaming, before how this thing really started. And it could go back to when when I first started playing FIFA, which was when I was a kid, most of your guys' age. Because I remember FIFA, man, it was created back in the late 90s, I believe. I think that's like around when the first FIFA was created. I don't even remember the first FIFA I had, to be honest, because it's been such a long time. But I remember it. I remember playing the one I started playing with friends was '06, and that was a World Cup FIFA. I remember playing that one, and I remember I was just playing with friends. It's like a LAN party type of play where multiple friends are at someone's house, and we're just all playing together, playing with like international teams. So I think that's when it really got started. And then I never really had FIFA like every year since then. That might be the last one I remember, the earliest one I remember having in my possession. Um, but I remember playing in college, so around college, that's probably like 2011, 2012. Yeah, it's a long time ago. I'm an old man now, but um, yeah, I remember just having like at my college where we had like a underground like area where you could play pool and ping pong, and they also had consoles. So I remember just going down with my friends and then playing like FIFA games, like 2-on-2 or 1-on-1, and that was a lot of fun during college. So during my breaks, I would just go down there and just play some FIFA with friends. So I remember doing that. But again, not really having possession of the game itself and not playing really that much. Those would be the only times I really play the game and just interact with my friends. I remember after that I got FIFA 14, I don't really know why I got it, but I remember playing it on PS, and then I got like a PS2 controller, and I just hooked it up on there with like a converter, a USB converter, and then I just started playing with the controller on my PC, and that was a lot of fun. Um, I never. The thing is, I never played online. I tried playing online with the PC, but back then I didn't have really good internet, so it would always lag. So that's why I never played online on 14 because of that. So I remember just playing career mode, and I got really hooked onto it. Like really hooked on. I remember creating my own player, creating myself this short Asian guy on there, and yeah, I was like 5'5", and then I was like English, and then I represented the England team, and it was kind of interesting because that's when I started really knowing about like the European leagues and Prem and all that. Because I didn't really have that much knowledge other than like LA Galaxy playing like in my area or the World Cup. I wasn't too familiar with European soccer or European football. So I think FIFA 14, when I was playing the career mode, I got really exposed to that. And then I got a little understanding of like the farm system and the different leagues. I remember just playing in the Prem with my career mode, and I was playing for like Manchester United. I was on the team, but I remember like I wasn't getting any playing time. So they transferred me to like Burnley. Like I remember all this. This is so hilarious. I got transferred to Burnley, and then they were in the second division. So um, I remember playing there, and I was just like tearing it up. I think the difficulty of the what was it, the AI wasn't that good because I wasn't really that good. I mean, I got a little bit better playing playing that career mode, but I mean the competition wasn't that great. But it was competitive because like I would actually lose to these the AI teams. But I remember just playing for Bernie. I was just like tearing it up, and then I think I got transferred back to Man U, and then I started tearing it up there. And I think I won like Prem with Man U and was like the star. And then after that, I went to the Bundes team, and then I remember the team too. It was Borussia Mönchengladbach. That was the team I got transferred to, and then I think I played there for a couple years, and I was just tearing it up there. I was pretty much like Messi, just scoring goals every game and just tearing it up, and it was crazy, man. I was just I remember winning like Champions League and like everything, the Bundesliga, and eventually I got called up to the World Cup to the English team. I don't know why I was English. I think I just wanted to play in the Prem. Won the World Cup, and I just achieved so many great things in career mode. And then that was it. All I wanted to do was really win the World Cup, and then I could retire. And that's pretty much what I did. So I was like, it's funny because it's like, it's career mode, it's FIFA, it's not a big deal. Like, bro, it's a video game, right? But then, I felt like in some way I was like living out my dream virtually through career mode, because I always wanted to be an athlete when I was younger, and um, just having to experience that, I felt like I lived out my dream through a video game. It's kind of silly, it's kind of hilarious, like, but yeah, I remember I just retired after winning the World Cup, and then that was the end of my FIFA career. Well, in terms of that career mode, so I feel like whenever I play career mode now, it's like, dude, I already accomplished my career. There's no need to play anymore. But then that was my FIFA 14 experience. So you fast forward all the way to November. No, not November. Maybe like 2019, right? And then again, like one of my friends, he's been playing FIFA for a bit, and he kind of introduced me to the game and saying like, "Oh, we should all get FIFA and we should all play. It's so much fun." And then he's like, I think we went over to one of my friend's house, and then we kind of had like a little friendly competition. I think my friend had FIFA 18 at the time, and then we just all played together. And then the friend that suggested that we play FIFA, he kind of beat all of us. So, well, not kind of. He did beat all of us, and it's funny because we all made an agreement that we should just all buy FIFA on November 2019. So, if you guys don't know, in the U.S., we have what we call Thanksgiving Day, and that's usually late November. So after Thanksgiving Day, there's something called Black Friday, right? Where like bunch of stores, retail stores do like crazy sales. So right after Thanksgiving, people just go to malls everywhere to get like these fantastic deals on all sorts of products. And it goes all across the board on all types of like items and anything. So usually that's like a great time to buy games because they do deal on games. So that time, FIFA's like half off, right? The original price. So my friends and I all agreed to get a PSN, right? Or the PS Plus, and also the FIFA game for a discount. And then we all just started playing. We would sometimes play against each other. It's the same friends that I had this competition with. And yeah, and then I got hooked on it immediately. I got hooked on the game, and I just kept playing. I started off playing seasons. So you guys are familiar with seasons. You just pick a club team and you play against other people. And there's like 10 divisions in there, so you kind of work your way up. And I remember I was just grinding on that, and I wasn't really that good either. And I moved my way up. Eventually, I got to like D1 in like a little over a month, till I got to January. So this is like January 2020 now. And then I kind of got bored of seasons. I got to Div 1, and I thought I've done all I wanted to do with FIFA. And then I just go on to Foot. I'm like, oh, this Ultimate Team seems pretty interesting. So I'm like, oh, I'll try it out. I'll try it out what Foot's all about, right? And then, I have no idea what Foot is about. It's just you have a bunch of cards, and then you try to make the best team. But I had no idea about tactics or chem or, the transfer market. I had no idea. Or SBC's objectives, no idea what this whole thing was about. And I'm just figuring this thing out. And if you think about it, you come on to Ultimate Team in January. It's like you come at a time where a lot of teams are already established. I remember coming on when Team of the Year released, and I'm just looking at it. I'm like, what the heck is Team of the Year, right? Like, what is this stuff? Like these cards are like stacked. I have no idea what this is and what the big deal is, right? But I just kind of stuck with it. And I remember just playing squad battles and trying to get a team together, trying to figure this whole thing out, right? And eventually, I got to a point where little by little, I started understanding a little bit about Ultimate Team and what it's about, started understanding a bit more, and my team has been getting better. But then all of a sudden, you just get hooked to it, pretty much. You get hooked to it, and then eventually I got to a point where I started playing Weekend League, right? Started playing some rivals, right? Playing against some people. I'm like, and at this point, I'm like Div 9, right? Div 8. And yeah, I started I remember playing Weekend League, and I didn't even play like the full like 30 the first time. I think I lost a lot of games. Like it wasn't that good, right? But I was just trying it out. I just wanted to see what this Weekend League or was all about. And I remember just playing all those rival games to get the qualification points up. And then yeah, I started playing, and then I think eventually I got to Silver 1 pretty quickly. I don't think Silver 1, if you play your 30 games, I don't think it's really that hard, especially with the matchups that I've been given. So I'm pretty sure I played a lot of easier opponents as compared to now to get to Silver 1. So the Silver 1 I got in the beginning was probably pretty easy. If I played those same guys, I probably beat a lot of those guys because we know how the matchups work with um, your record and ratio. Because I know I would start off really bad with a really bad record, and eventually I get matched up with a lot of these not as good players, you know. So yeah, I remember doing that for a couple months, right? Ever since I started foot, and then I think once the pandemic happened, I started. I think one of my friends, that same friend that suggested I get into FIFA, he also suggested like kind of not serious. I don't know if he was serious, but he kind of suggested like I should start streaming too. So I thought, hey, that sounds interesting at a time of the pandemic, when again for me there wasn't really much for me to do. I remember at the time too, I was doing Uber, and then once the lockdown happened, I stopped doing it because I just thought it was unsafe to continue doing. And this was around March. So around that time, when I was doing FIFA, I started streaming on YouTube, and this is just for fun. And if you go on my channel and you go to the earliest videos, you just see those games of me playing foot. You can actually see the teams I actually had. So I even like on the title put my record on there, but I had no idea like what streaming was all about. But I was just testing it out, right? And I was just putting on these games, and yeah, that's really how the streaming got started. So you can see there's a lot of videos in the very beginning of my channel where I'm just playing foot games. It's just all these long games, right? Um, but at the time, I was streaming through. Mm, I was streaming through my PlayStation, right? So it was at like what, like 720p, not the highest quality, but I was just streaming on the PS, no webcam, and I don't think like at the time no one was really coming through. I think you had some viewers just popping in and out, but not really gaining any traction in terms of viewership. And I don't know. Eventually, it got to a point where I thought I had a little bit of money, um, where you know I could spend on equipment to make this streaming thing a little bit more legit. So I kind of invested in some equipment like a webcam. It's the same equipment that I have now, and a mic stand, all that stuff to kind of uh for me to be able to stream pretty much with and produce high quality streams. I really wanted to have it at like a 1080p, stream, make it all legit. So I was just really learning how to stream, and I was getting all the right equipment for me to get started on streaming. And I remember I eventually got started in June of 2020. I think that's when I first started doing it on stream, or on Twitch, sorry. And you could actually go back in the archives of my YouTube and see. I think my first video was me like pulling Hazard from like I think it's a player moments. It was like a party pack, but there's no webcam. But eventually, you know, that's how I got started on Twitch. And it's funny because in the very beginning of Twitch, I didn't really have anybody coming through. It's like the same thing with the PlayStation. When I was streaming up right off the PS, no one's really coming through. I'm just there. I have my Streamlabs, and it's just me. It's just me pretty much playing games, and then like I'll go through entire streams where no one would come through. And every once in a while, you have someone pop in, and they would just say, "Hey, what's up?" They just come by and say, "Hey, how's it going?" And then you just have conversations with people. And I think Jordan, who's in the chat right now, I think he's still watching. He's one of the first guys that actually came through, and one of the earliest followers, the first sub. I do want to mention he's gonna be our first guest. It looks like he's available for the weekend. Maybe we might set something up with him. But yeah, I remember him coming through. There's another guy named I'm a Koballa. He's been with us for a while too. He's still here. Jordan's still here. Shout out to Jordan Cassell's, also a fellow streamer. Just got affiliate, so congrats to him. Shout out to Jordan. But yeah, one of the earliest guys, and I remember just having a conversation with him. We had a good conversation. I remember we were talking about you coming to Cali, how much you like Cali, and then like I think you went to like in LA and went to like an unsafe area or something, or a sketchy area, right? I think an Uber driver like took you there. Yeah, I just remember that. I actually remember that. Hey, shout out to Jordan, man. But those were just like the early experiences that I had on Twitch, just interacting with guys. And it's crazy that fast forward like 9 months later, Jordan's still here. He's our 6 month subscriber, and it's been great, man, having guys like him coming through. But starting from that point where it was right through Crenshaw, Jordan's saying he was at Crenshaw. Yeah, right. But it's so interesting starting at that point where you will only have one viewer the whole stream. I think the average viewership was like point 0.2, point 0.4, But it'd be nice to have just someone on the stream at the time just coming through and saying, "Hey, what's up? How's it going? How's the stream? How are you? Where are you from?" And just having that has been kind of cool. And slowly but surely, the channel's been growing. Each follower, people following, people coming through. And yeah, I think being able to just meet a lot of people to stream, also meeting a lot of fellow streamers, people raiding on my streams and being able to raid for others, it's been really good. I've really enjoyed that, and I got to meet a lot of cool people through streaming. And yeah, fast forward until now, this is March 2021, and it's been a full year since that lockdown that we had here in California. And it's so crazy how time flies. I think I'm really thankful for streaming and FIFA, because it's actually helped me get through the pandemic. And I know that COVID and the pandemic has been really hard on all of us. And for me to have this outlet has been really good with Twitch, because I still get to interact with people, have some sort of social interaction. With having all this lockdown here, I mean, you can't really interact with people, because they close everything down. So to have this as an alternative has been really great, and I've really enjoyed it. And just playing the game too has been fun. And I know through FIFA 20, I've just really been hooked on Ultimate Team, trying to get like the best players, trying to understand the game and understand the game mode. And a lot of people have come on stream and taught me a lot of things with with tactics and SBCs, and that's been great too. That's been really helpful. I wouldn't have the knowledge of FIFA and Ultimate Team if it wasn't for a lot of people coming through on the streams and just giving me really good suggestions. So that's been really good. And also, I've been watching a lot of content on FIFA. Even now, I'm just watching a lot of content creators that create FIFA, and that's been very educational and very entertaining as well. So I also want to do the same, and I thought also creating this podcast would be good in addition to creating FIFA content through the Twitch streams. So yeah, it's all, that's kind of the background with that, with my whole FIFA career. Now that I'm in 21, March, FIFA 21, I'm still playing Ultimate Team. I still play it, and through these streams, eventually, I think in September, I guess I'm not really done talking about it or my Twitch background, but eventually in September of 2020, we got to affiliate and filled out all the requirements, and now I'm able to monetize off of Twitch, which is good. And along the way, we have a lot of subscribers, a lot of people that drop bits, and watching the ads as well. So you guys been supporting me. The money right now isn't really much, but it's more than the money, really. I think the whole experience has been great. Like, I do hope to make more money off of this, and maybe at some point, maybe just doing this Twitch and content creating alone could really support me financially. So that's kind of the game plan with this. So hopefully, we could get to that point. But in the moment, right now, in the present, I'm just really just appreciating what I have now, and I really enjoy just interacting with everybody on Twitch, on YouTube, on social media. It's been really great, and I hope through this podcast I could interact with more streamers. I could interact with more of you guys to just we could just chat about anything. It doesn't just have to be FIFA related. Of course, we could talk about FIFA and football and have our takes on certain things, give our perspectives. But if you want to come in to promote something of yourself, or your channel, your content, or it could be anything, you could definitely come on this podcast and we could just chat about it and promote you. So this is really just a platform, again, to have conversations, just to really listen to your stories, and also promote whatever you want to promote. But we're already 30 minutes in. Probably go for another 30, be it like an hour stream of podcast. I think for the podcast we want to go about an hour. I'm willing to go a bit longer, but it really depends on our schedule and the schedule of our guests here. But yeah, I mean, now that we're at this point in March, it's been really great, and yeah, I'm hoping to do big things with this podcast here. I know we have like 4 viewers. It's been consistent at 4 viewers watching this entire podcast stream, and then so I really do appreciate you tuning in and me just mouthing off. But I guess this could be a time where you guys could ask some Q&A. If you guys want to ask away, I'll interact more in this part of the podcast here. But if not, I could just go on and just kind of talk about maybe something FIFA related, or I don't know, whatever comes to mind. But DJ asked how the podcast been going. The podcast is going good. It's been really good. I really wanted to share a little bit of my story so you guys could get a background of how I got to this point here, and you guys have a general idea of where I'm going with this. You guys could just understand where I'm coming from and why I'm doing this. So when you have my background, when you have like the reasons of why I'm doing this, then you better understand like why I want to do this podcast. Because I really do. Thank you, Jordan. By the way, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying the podcast. Um, but yeah, I enjoy watching podcasts too, and there are like a couple podcasts I really do listen to. Maybe I could throw some suggestions out there. But there's a bunch. There's a bunch. I think one of my favorite is the Joe Rogan Experience. I think that's one of the best ones. I think Joe Rogan's really good at podcasting. He's really good at having conversations with people, and he has all sorts of guests. I mean, I've already known him because I'm a big fan of martial arts, and I keep up with that. And he has a lot of martial artists coming in as his guests, but he has everyone like scientists, scholars, um, athletes, entertainers. He has all across the board. His guests are really interesting, and I would just watch the guests who are I'm really fascinated to get to know. So me as a third party, as a viewer, to be able to like listen to that conversation has been like it's always been a treat, and it's always been like I've always learned something from those podcasts. But there's a bunch of podcasts I listen to, but that's like the main, probably one of my favorites. What made me want to start doing a podcast? 6 hours a day. I used to be like that too. I used to spend like that much on podcasts because I get hooked on it. I get fascinated on certain topics, and it's really brought a lot of knowledge to me, a lot of wisdom, and that's the reason. Like, I think that kind of relates to your question. I think that's the reason why I wanted to get started on the podcast. Is because whatever we know, whatever stories we have here, probably on this podcast, it like people can know about it, people can relate to it, and you could really resonate with a person when you hear their story, and kind of understand their perspective on anything, on life, on just yeah, any sort of experience. You get hooked too easily. Now, Jordan, are there any podcasts that you listen to? You got any favorites in there? Yeah, I mean, it's great. I think podcast is a great way to learn. If there's a specific area that you want to brush up on and you want to learn, I think podcasts are a great avenue. Because nowadays you don't have to go to a school setting. You don't have to go to a university to really get your education. Now, all the knowledge, all the information is all out there on the web. And podcast is like another avenue for you to learn something, to learn a specific field. So I think it's great. I think it's great having podcasts. And crime and sports, that's an interesting one. Hello, BC boys. How's it going, dude? How are you, my man? We're just doing a podcast here. We're about to go 20 minutes more, but welcome to the stream. What is crime and sports all about? That's really interesting. Like athletes that commit crimes, and you have these crazy stories. That's really interesting. Um, but yeah, I think with podcasts too, the aspect of it is just getting to know people. I think. Do I play FIFA? I do play FIFA. What rank am I? I'm ranked. I'm Division 3 right now in Rivals, and I usually get Gold 2, Gold 3 in Weekend League. Open goal. What's open goal all about? So BC, you came at a good time. You came at a time where we're doing a bit of Q&A here on the podcast. So it's funny, BC. We just started. This is our first podcast on our channel. So this is just like the intro podcast that we have here. Yeah. It'd be nice if we had like a kind of a studio instead of doing it in my room, but it's all good, man. I just stream in my room too. I also stream on Twitch, by the way, as you can see in those little images that you have on the screen here. It's just Koballa. But yeah, I mean, if this is what you enjoy, if you guys really enjoy this podcast or enjoy talking to me, please subscribe, please follow. I would appreciate your support. But I appreciate you coming through, Beastie. Two comedian. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Scottish football, I guess. Nice, nice. You get Elite One. Wow, we got a quality player here. You get top 200. What is it? Hey, what is your tag? Are you PS or Xbox? You're a West Ham fan? Hey, we need to see proof, man. We need to see proof. You gotta give us an image that you're a top 200 player. Not that I don't believe you, but I want some verification. I don't really support a particular football team, but I grew up here in Southern California, and early on, I've always watched Galaxy. So I'm sure you guys know who Landon Donovan is. He was a Galaxy for a while. So I've kind of watched there, but I wasn't a huge soccer fan growing up. I mean, I watched a lot of your World Cup every 4 years. I get excited about that, and I would just cheer for like South Korea or U.S. But I'm not a huge fan of anybody. I'm just more of a casual football fan. And because I got into FIFA in 2020, I started keeping up more. So now I know all these players and who's in what league and all that. Oh, you're a PC player, huh? How's the competition in PC compared to PlayStation? That's so interesting. Love Donovan? One of the top Americans to play football. He was good. I think he played in the Prem for a little bit. No? But he played mostly in the MLS for the longest time, so yeah, he had quite a career. It's been pretty fascinating to watch his career. But yeah, I don't really support anyone in particular. I'm just a football fan. You're part Dutch. Interesting. Very interesting. Where are you from, my man? Where are you from, Beastie? Yeah, national team. I mean, probably South Korea and the U.S. I'd support those teams. We're a big Sonaldo fan here. So it's good to see a Korean like Sonaldo, to be able to do so well in the best league. Claudio Reyna, is he the best American? What about Pulisic? Is Reyna better than Pulisic? Pulisic's pretty good too, man. I know he hasn't been playing for some reason, right? But dude's good. PC, it's much easier, so it's easier for you to get top 200 on PC. Elite 2, Elite 3. Okay, okay. Must be pretty good though. I mean, better than me. I'm just a gold 2 player trying to hit gold 1. I think the best I've ever done was like 18 wins out of 30. So I guess that's not bad considering the fact that I only got into foot in January 2020. Oh, he played with Rangers. I see, I see. I did not know that. How long have I been streaming? I've been streaming since June 2020 during pandemic. Um, and yeah, I've been streaming on Twitch. Um, I want to live stream on YouTube because I want the podcasts all on there. So have it live stream here just for the podcast, and then FIFA streaming it'll be on Twitch. But I could just like I don't have to worry about transferring or uploading the video if I like podcasts on Twitch. Who's on your squad, Beastie? Who's on your squad right now? Wait, Reina played for Rangers 20 years ago? What do you mean? Oh, wait, am I getting this mixed up with someone else? Cause I'm thinking about his son, right? That's what I'm thinking about. I gotta look this up. Wait, if I do this. Okay, yeah. I'm thinking about his son. His son is the one on Dortmund, right? Claudio Reyna is his dad. I got that mixed up. I was like, oh wait, are we talking about the same guy? Do I have any guests? We will have a guest. Actually, our first guest that we're gonna have is a guy in the chat, Jordan. He's gonna be a first guy. He's also a fellow streamer, Twitch streamer. Just got affiliate, so we want to have him and kind of celebrate on our first podcast. We might do it this weekend. We'll see. We'll communicate on that. Yeah. What? You have every Toti? What kind of team is this? What? Does everybody in PC have like stacked teams or what? Geo's dad. Right. Welcome to the Cap Store. Welcome to the... Oh my gosh, Sheila. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Claudio. What did Claudio... I'm not too familiar with his dad, Claudio Reyna. What did he play? Which icons do you have? You almost have every Toti. What are your top icons? I'm so curious now. But yeah, that's interesting. In terms of American players, I mean, American soccer, as we call it, um, feel like it's getting there. I mean, there's a lot of good Americans that are playing overseas in Europe, which is good. So you see a lot of talent developing there. I think there's like McKinney, there's Reyna, there's Pulisic, there's Dest. Who else is out there? Um, so a lot of up and coming Americans playing in Europe, which is really interesting. Gotcha. How many coins do you have, Beastie? Um, but yeah, a lot of up and coming good Americans. So it'll be interesting to see if they qualify. I don't know, when do they start qualifying for the World Cup? When is it all finalized? I'm so curious because I know the World Cup's coming up next year, right? So they should all be qualifying really soon. Balotelli? What? Um, yeah, it's so sad. Last World Cup, they didn't even make it. They didn't even make the World Cup. Like CONCACAF is like not that competitive, right? Where US shouldn't have made it. They should have been good enough to make to qualify for the World Cup through CONCACAF. But oh my gosh, how do you even have that kind of coins? Do you pay to win, or are you road to glory? Oh my gosh. Um, but yeah, it's so interesting to see. I mean, I'm looking forward to World Cup. I get excited about World Cup because it's just who's the best nation? Who do you guys have winning the World Cup? Is it Portugal? I think Portugal's like the favorite, which is pretty interesting. And if CR7 plays, it'll probably be his last one. So you have CR7, Bruno Fernandes. Who else is there? Who else is Portuguese? I know there's a lot. I just can't remember. Some of the best pack luck. Wow. Oh my goodness. You have both of them? You have both CR7s? What? I don't even have one. I had to buy my CR7, the gold one. Oh my gosh. Denmark. Who are the top players in Denmark? I know the goalie from Leicester, right? What's his name? Who else is who else is Danish? I'm trying to remember. France or Belgium? Yeah, they have like the best players. Even just looking at the French roster, like I play a little bit of co-op seasons with my friend, and we play with France, and France is just the players that they have are just stacked. Like you will have so many French players left out of like the World Cup roster. That's how good France is. I've not tried Team of the Year Bruno. I am not that rich. Schmeichel? Is that how you pronounce it? Oh, Ericsson. Yeah, Christian Ericsson. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good Danish player. Yeah, yeah. So, does it look like does it look good for Denmark qualifying? Because I know Europe is pretty tough. The Europe area, European countries would have it pretty tough because there's so many good nations out there. And if you look at Belgium too, as Jordan was saying, they're really good too. Just all throughout. I mean, you have KDB, you have Hazard, Courtois. Man, so many good players. Wow, you guys don't even put Bruno in the top 10. It's really interesting. You don't even put Bruno in the top 10? Oh my goodness. Oh my. As DJ would like to call him, DJ calls him a pen merchant. Oh my goodness. You can't say that to Man U fans, man. Man U fans would be upset. Interesting debates. Who would you guys have, KDB or Bruno? Stop, stop the cap. Dude, you guys are hilarious, man. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, what is there to talk about? We'll stick around here for a couple more minutes on the podcast. Just interacting with the chat. Not better than never will be. Very interesting. Very interesting. I can't really say because I don't watch too much of their play. I just watch a little bit of highlights. Like usually, I would judge players by their FIFA rating. You know what I mean? I can only tell how good they are in game. What in real life, I mean, I don't have that kind of IQ or that knowledge in football. But that's why I have you guys. That's why I have you guys to tell me what's up. KDB. Everybody's picking KDB. I think this season though, people are saying Beastie's saying this season Bruno's really coming up. He completed moments Nevid. I think Jordan will be very happy. Jordan really pushed for me to get moments Nedved SBC, but Hiwa just got him. Jordan would attest to this. Jordan thinks he's amazing. I mean, his stats are really amazing. I can see why Jordan really likes him. Interesting points here about Bruno and KDB. But both great midfielders. I'm sure, man. I'm sure they really do help their team to where they're at. Yeah, really interesting points here that you guys make about KDB. Um, Beastie saying that Bruno performs in every game while KDB just performs in the big games. And Jordan makes a point where Bruno only performs in against the poorer teams. But that's pretty interesting perspectives. You know, I'm sure both of them are great midfielders. If you had a list the top five midfielders, who would your top five be right now? Foden's up there. Foden's like really young, right? He's up and coming, so we might see big things from him, right? Is he top five right now? Interesting points. Interesting point, BC. Foden, that's a player. Yeah, it's crazy. He's really young too. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I would have a top five. I don't know if I have enough credibility to list the top five. Um, but I mean, you do have a KDB, a Bruno. Who else is out there? Who else is a top midfielder? Would you put in the world? Yeah, in the world. Who else would you put up there? I mean, would you put a Modric up there? Luka Modric? Um, who else is there? Would you put a Pogba? Conte? What other great midfielders are there? I really don't know. I mean, I can't. I'm just listing off the top of my head. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who else is out there. Maybe you guys could give me some ideas before we close with this podcast. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just listing names. I mean, who's out there? There's Casemiro. There's De Jong. Um, Mueller, Thomas Mueller. So he had to use Robin. Was it the flashback Robin, right, to complete him? I think that's worth doing though. I don't really think you need Robin at this point now. You just need to move on to Nedved. How much coins did it cost you to complete Nedved? That's so. It's really interesting. Man, I wouldn't mind having a card like Nedved, really. But I just don't have the coins. I think I have to stick with my team, which is a pretty nice team that we have. You know, that would be nice. That would be nice, Beastie. If you want my PSN and if you want to add me, for those of you out there, well, this is just for Beastie. But my PSN is Koballa44, as you see here on this tag. That's what you see here in my social media handle. That is also my PSN. So if you want to add me there, you can, Beastie. If you want to sub to this channel and also follow on Twitch, that'd be awesome too. or across the board on all social medias. So Jordan lists the top five: De Bruyne, Goretzka, Kroos, Kimmich. Oh yeah, we forgot Kimmich, right? Kroos. Those are some very good ones. Your friends could give you tactics. That'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be awesome. You're left with no fodder, no. Oh my gosh. He would just left everything, just do everything from the kitchen sink just to get Nedved. Might be worth it, I think, and Nedved's. That looks like an amazing card. I do not have TikTok or Snapchat. I only have Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. You don't have PSN, no worries. But if you wanna add me, since you have a PS, you can. You're free to do so. Yeah, no worries, no worries. I appreciate the help. I appreciate the support, Beastie. So I think that wraps it up. I mean, it's already been an hour of doing this podcast, and it's been good, man. We've been having like 4 or 5 viewers live stream, but this will stay on for those that haven't watched it live. So if you guys want to watch it through, it's up there on YouTube. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Please support me. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. We're almost there. So I would appreciate your support. We also have the Twitch here. Follow and sub there on Koballa if you search that up. And then we got the handles for Twitter and Instagram at Koballa44. But yeah, that's the end of our podcast. Thank you guys for coming through. Thank you, Beastie, Jordan, Hiwa, interacting on the chat. You could see it on there if you just look up Koballa on Twitch. You just search that up, you'll see me right there. I think the link is also in the description. So please, thank you for coming through, BC. I really appreciate that. Yeah, looking to do plenty more. I think we might have a podcast with Jordan on the weekend, so we'll discuss this, Jordan. And I appreciate your support, Jordan. We'll get a podcast with you. I'm excited to have a guest in our podcast. We gotta do through Zoom. Does Zoom work for you, Jordan? I'm about to buy a yearly plan, so we could just have a bunch of Zoom calls for our podcast. All you really need is like a webcam and a mic, and you're set. I know on our end we're covered on that. So just to help you get prepared, Jordan. I've probably been on. Yeah, I do have a Tik. Oh, actually, yeah, that's right. I do have a TikTok. I said I didn't, but I do. But I don't run it. One of my mods run it. Yeah, I think my mod runs a TikTok. I didn't mention that. I'm sorry. I don't even have it on here on screen. But yeah, he posted it up for me. So you probably have seen me. It's like opening packs and stuff. So yeah, I don't know if he's uploaded one recently, but I gotta let him know on that. You have Zoom, perfect. I'm looking forward to our next podcast, probably during the weekend, where we have Jordan Cassell, a fellow streamer. So looking forward to that on this weekend. So stay tuned for that. Again, would like to thank you guys for all coming through. Hiwa, Beastie, Jordan, thank you for coming through. This has been great. I'm looking to do plenty more and have a lot of cool guests on the podcast. But hope you guys have a good one. Take care, and until the next time.